this. We're going to kill this. We're going to talk some hoops. Let's get into it. Rockets, Cavs. That's our first game to discuss. Sengun. 5 straight wins for Houston, by the way. 114-104. He finishes with 28, 11, and 7. Kevin Durant had his 20. Houston out-rebounds Cleveland 51-39. I think that's interesting. Donovan Mitchell, like we've seen this before, his fourth quarter craziness. He had 19 in the fourth in this one. Well, we can talk about that in a second. They are 10-1 since they started the season with 2 losses, and we all started to doubt them right away. Lou, I'll start with you. They've obviously shown something, and they've turned things around. Are they now the biggest threat to the Thunder?
I think they're the real deal. I think between them and Denver, those are going to be the 2 teams that's going to give OKC a run for their money when it comes to postseason basketball play. I think Houston has all of the pieces. They can score with the best of them. They can put a bunch of points on the board. But the surprising thing is they're top 5 defense and allowing points scored as well. So when you look at both of those things and you look at a team led by Sengun and Kevin Durant, and they're playing at a high level, they're going to be a threat to anybody. Now, the only thing for me is when it comes to OKC, they've created so much separation in how they play and how they operate as a team and the pieces they have. We're yet to see Jalen Williams on the floor for this team, and they're still rolling. They're still beating everybody, and they've created so much separation from whoever the second-place team is. And another threat for me, I feel like, is going to be Denver. Denver is going to be in that conversation as well with the year that Joker is having and along with Jamal Murray. And that 2-point. And a lot of people aren't even talking about Aaron Gordon and the way that he's been impactful for that team as well. Those are going to be the top 3 teams I feel like that's going to be in this conversation. But Houston is definitely doing its thing on both ends of the basketball. And it's only been a sample size, but I like where they stand as far as competitive nature and where they are in the West right now.
Yeah, and we've talked about how deep the Western Conference is since jump, right? We knew Oklahoma City, what they were going to do. Now, I don't know if we knew they were going to go 15-1. And by the way, I looked ahead at their schedule. There's a good chance this team goes like 32-3. Like they are so good, and there's such a difference between them right now and these other teams. But Houston's there. Denver's there, the 2 teams that Lou mentioned. And then there's the sneaky teams. The Lakers, they're starting to get healthy. They're figuring things out. Minnesota Timberwolves are a team that can get hot, and they have a lot of talent. And then the Spurs, when they're fully healthy, they're so young, and I still think they're a year away. But, man, when they're fully healthy, they defend. They're so versatile. So I think those 5 teams all really have a chance to continue to get better throughout this season. But when you look at the starting 5 of Houston and you look at the play now that Reece Shepard's starting to give you, Aaron Holiday gives you 18 last night, and you look at the size of their starting 5. Their smallest guy in the starting lineup is Amen Thompson. He's 6'6". So I'm not surprised at how good of an offensive rebounding team they are. You got Sengun playing at an All-NBA level. Kevin Durant, I've never seen him seems to be at peace. Oh, no, is it doing it?
Drink. If you had it on your bingo card, take a drink. We got it.
Kevin Durant seems to be at peace right now, just kind of praising Sengun and all his teammates. So Houston is red hot right now, and they are going to be a tough out because in the playoff series, come half court offense, this team can beat you in a bunch of different ways. They're so big and tall and athletic on the offensive glass, and they showed that last night. They can really beat you up there and dominate on the glass. So they're good, and it's still, to me, it's Oklahoma City and then Denver and Houston right there. And then those other 3 teams I mentioned, though, the Western Conference is still stacked.
By the way, just not to get ahead of ourselves, but tomorrow they do have a cup game against Denver. So that's a must-see. Put it on your calendar. Speaking of, just put Jokic to the side. And Chandler, I have loved the sort of mutual love fest that's been going on between KD and Sengun. I just think it's a really good story. And he's so complimentary. And he said he's never played with a big man that scores the way he does. So we got Jokic. He's in a category of his own. Is Sengun the best scoring big right now? Besides,
I mean, outside of Jokic, you look at the numbers; they don't lie. And this dude, I think it's the way he plays. He's so versatile. He's so agile for a big man to kind of lead the offense, to get the defensive rebound, and push the break. So he's one of them. And if you look at the stats, I mean, Marketing, he's not really a 5; he's more of a 4. Marketing, Jokic, and Wemby are the only guys that are the technically bigs that are averaging more points than him. So it's a fair comment for him to say that. It's a fair comment for him to believe that. And I think with this makeup of this team, they can really showcase his versatility all season long. And I don't think this is like a fool's gold thing where he's averaging crazy numbers early and it's going to tinker off. I think he's going to stay right where he is or get better. He's shooting a 3-pointer at 45%, I think it was. So he can do it all. He can step out. He punishes smaller guys on him. And there's no real recipe of guarding this guy. So outside those other 3 guys that statistically average more points right now, he's right there.
I think this is fun to watch. I love it. Okay, let's do a little Cavs here because Nick Van Exel said that when they lost JB Bickerstaff, the Cavs lost their toughness. I love sentences like this because it goes many different ways. He also, look, he went on to say Kenny Atkinson's a great coach. There's nothing wrong with that, but he's offensive minded. And that a lot of times coaches and teams will sort of take each other's personalities on. Lou, I'm wondering if you agree that Cleveland has lost their toughness.
Well, I said it yesterday. I didn't say that they lost their toughness, but I just would like to see them be a tougher basketball team. Like you want to see them get a little grind, a little grittier, get down on the floor and mix it up with some teams, especially with the identity that they have. I think they play a pretty style of basketball. They play a very flowing style of basketball. And as we know in the postseason, it's gonna get tough. You got to get your hands dirty. And I just want to see them have that. So I'm not going to comment to what they didn't have and what they don't. I just want to see them be a tougher team moving forward. And to speak to Kenny Atkinson, I work with both of these guys. I work with Nick Van Exel at the same time that I work with Kenny Atkinson in Atlanta. And Kenny doesn't have the reputation for being a super tough type of basketball coach, but he knows what he's doing, and he's no pushover either at the same time. And teams are a reflection of their coach a lot of the times. And so, with that, Kenny is going to put them in the positions to be successful on the offensive end. He knows what he's doing when it comes to drawing up plays and putting guys in the right position to score the basketball. But as far as toughness, that got to be in you. That has to be part of your makeup individually, and then you bring that to the table. So this team very much has the personality of their coach, but at the same time, toughness is going to come from each individual guy and pulling that out of themselves. So I don't know if they lost their toughness when they fired JB. I think naturally they got a bunch of nice guys. They have a bunch of guys that carries themselves like that. But I just want to see them get their hands dirty a little bit more than where they are right now, especially when it comes to a deep postseason run. There's going to be some grind out games where it's going to be low scoring, where the game is not going to be as free flowing. They're going to take away some of your cuts. They're going to take away some of your first and second options, where you're going to have to get it down to your third and fourth opportunities on the offensive end. And that's where that toughness is going to come in. Not necessarily just pushing people around and wanting to fight. No, we mean mental toughness. We mean toughness going out there and just trying to operate in a space where when things get tough, you have guys that are built for it. Even Donovan Mitchell mentioned it. They weren't tested. They weren't battle tested. Mm-hmm. Everybody is talking about the toughness of the Cleveland Cavaliers, including the Cleveland Cavaliers and especially their best player. So when those questions are being asked, you got to find that somewhere, especially if you want to compete for a championship.
Yeah, and listen, we're one season removed from Kenny Atkinson winning Coach of the Year, so it's hard to insult him in any way. But when you look at the makeup of this team, who is their enforcer? Who is their Draymond Green? Yeah. Who is that guy that when push comes to shove in a playoff series, then they have more talent, they score more points usually. Who's going to be that difference maker? And I think that's what Van Exel means, and that's where I do agree. When you look at the makeup of these two rosters, there's no way that the Detroit Pistons are getting punked this year. And I don't think that's all on JB Bickerstaff instilling this crazy tough. I think that's just the
what indeed
to do with, but also that's on the players. Put Isaiah Stewart on the Cavs, put some other guys like that on that Cavs roster. I think they automatically overnight gain some toughness, but Kenny's always been an offensive coach, and their offense has taken a little hit. Last year when they started off 15-0 and they were rolling, they were the number one offense. They're the number 7 now, which is still pretty good, to look at it out of 30 teams. But this is an offensive team, and sometimes that can bite you in the butt come playoff times, come in a series where teams take away what you do best. Then it's all the little things, and it's effort, then it's toughness. And this team hasn't had that in the postseason when it matters the most. So I agree with Van Exel. I think JB was that guy, and I said it countless times. I think that was a bad move. But then again, they hired the guy that won Coach of the Year in his first year. So I think they both won.
No, I think look, I'm not one of those, I'm not cheesy this way, but I think everything happened the way it was supposed to, because honestly, they're both in like really good spots and killing it, especially JB. Jarrett Allen, look, we got a dunk last night. Doesn't count. However, sometimes you just have to give credit to the art. That's on Shingun.
That is
almost top 10.
Know yourself.
I mean, that is
for everybody.
It's a little nasty. I kind of like that it's Jarrett Allen who's like the nice guy.
It's like when you jump from so far, like Dwight Howard, you don't even touch the rim on a dunk. It's impressive.
Yeah,
God, that must be fun to do.
Attacking the rim, make you foul me. That's toughness. I like it.
I like seeing that.
If he didn't hit him in the face too, it probably counts.
Yeah, that was a fun one. We had to show that one just because it was good. Okay, we had other games. Don't look now, Toronto. Hey, Canada.